I'd like to open this joint meeting and call the Parish Council meeting to order.
And I call the City Council to order.
We welcome you to a special joint meeting of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council. As presiding officer and chair, I would like to announce the following. This is a public meeting. To address the councils on any item on this agenda, please fill out the request form and submit it to our clerk prior to the call of the agenda item, or you will not be given the opportunity to speak. Staff assistance is available if needed. Items for submission to the council should be handed to Council Clerk Ms. Veronica Williams, seated to my left in the middle. When addressing the councils, state your name and title for the official record. The 5-minute rule will be in effect. No debating or confrontational statements will be allowed. The front row to my left is for media only. All media video equipment must remain behind the red lines. Food and drinks are not allowed in the auditorium. Please silence all phones and electronic devices. Meeting procedures are by resolution and not by Robert's Rules of Order. All documents with reference to meetings can be found on the LCG website. And finally, the council encourages your involvement in boards or commissions. If you are interested, please call 291-8800. Chair announcements. Chairman Kevin Knockan, District 2, is absent due to a work commitment, so I will be presiding this evening. A second special joint meeting of the Lafayette Parish Council and Lafayette City Council will take place following this special joint meeting. Additional announcements. This is a special joint meeting of the Lafayette Parish Council and the Lafayette City Council. At times during the meeting, I will defer to the City Council Chair to preside over City Council matters. We also want to extend our congratulations to Council Member Brian Tabor. He welcomed his 5th grandbaby on Monday. Her name is Camille. Let's congratulate Papa Tabor. Very special. Okay. Let's move on to the Executive Mayor President's report. Mr. Mayor President, it is Mike Hunt.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Again, I want to announce that the first public UDC Replacement Committee meeting will be this Friday, February 7th at 8:30 a.m. It will be held at the Rosa Parks Transportation Center in the multi-purpose room on the first floor. I want to note that I firmly believe, my administration believes, that we can make Lafayette more business-friendly to encourage and attract businesses to invest in Lafayette. If you're available this Friday morning, please join us. We'd like to hear your thoughts, and please join us. So 8:30 a.m. Friday, February 7th, first public UDC Replacement Committee meeting. Also, Mr. Vice Chair, I am proud to announce that LCG has received the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for the 4th consecutive year. The Comprehensive Annual Financial Report Program encourages governments to go beyond the minimum requirements of generally accepted accounting principles and prepare transparent, comprehensive financial statements that provide users with the information they need to assess the entity's financial health. We are celebrating this accomplishment because of Ms. Lori Toops, our CFO, and her wonderful staff that I have the privilege of working with every day. I am so thankful for everything that you do, Lori, and I know that our administration and our councils appreciate you as well. Thank you. If we do have time, I'd like Lori to address the councils too, with your permission.
Absolutely.
So I'll go ahead and put this in layman's terms for you, for the new folks who haven't been here. The Louisiana Revised Statutes has certain requirements for governments in Louisiana for their financial reporting, and those standards are about here. The Governmental Accounting Standards Board has another set of standards that we have to follow when we do our audits, our financial statements, and those standards are here. The GFOA looked around and looked at local governments across the country, this is probably 20, 30 years ago, and they set a higher level of standards that governments really should put in their audit reports and their comprehensive annual financial reports in order to provide users of that financial statement data the best information to make decisions. So in another life, I worked at a small government. I did this all by myself. In Lafayette, we're much too large. I could never do this all by myself. When I went to the staff, taught them about the program, how important it was, they were very excited to get behind it. Not all of those employees are here today. They have children, they have families, they have lives, but I did manage to get a few of them to come to the meeting tonight, if they will come up here. These folks directly work on this report. It's a very extensive checklist, and they have to make sure they go through that, and we meet all the criteria. They put a lot of extra work into this, and this is work that they do above and beyond the minimum requirements. They don't get paid any extra to do this work and earn this award. And it's also recognized by the rating agencies when they look at our financial statement. They know that we have earned this certificate. It is given to us by financial experts across the country. They get our audit report and they grade it. And then they send us comments back and things that we have to do maybe for the next year or things they would like to see. So it really is a lot of work. It's a team effort. I have here Tammy Andrews, our accounting manager, Melinda Phelps, our controller, LaShonda Jordan, our compliance officer, and there's something else in her title that I've forgotten. Debt management and compliance officer, and Laura Brewer, our financial analyst. And like I said, there's a whole bunch of other people that work on this, but I'm really proud to be associated with these ladies. They do a great job.
Thank you.
And for the council members, the last one in blue is actually Laura Gretner, and y'all probably know John Gretner. That's his wife. So.
Stand up for the picture. For the picture. You want to be seen?
Two more, sorry. All right, Mr. Vice Chair. Also, we have comments on the Lafayette Reads Together program. In mid-January, the Lafayette Public Library announced the beginning of the 2020 Lafayette Reads Together program. This program is a community read in which a chosen book is offered free to the people of Lafayette Parish. It encourages community discussions as well as opportunities to meet the author. Citizens can join the community read by picking up a copy at any Lafayette Public Library until March 14th. Any program that encourages literacy and bridges financial barriers to education is a win in my book. With that said, we have Ms. Teresa Elberson, and I'd ask Ms. Elberson to come forward.
Hello, thank you this evening for letting me say a few words. I'm Teresa Elberson, Library Director. This is our 6th year working with the Lafayette Parish School System to celebrate Lafayette Reads Together. This is a community promotion where we encourage everyone to read the same book. This year we're reading dry, and I think y'all got copies. I sent them over here to the council. The Dry is by Neil Schusterman. In Southern California runs out of water and society collapses into chaos. The story follows a group of mismatched teenagers that find themselves on a wild ride as they try to survive without water. Our program surrounding this book started January the 13th and run through the month of February. The Library Foundation once again stepped up to the plate and donated lots of money to purchase copies to give away free to anybody that wants them at any location in the library. And like I said, you all have copies and a list of all the activities that we have going. The author will be here next Tuesday night at 6:15 at the main library. And so we invite all of you to read the book, pass it along to your family and friends, and come join us for the author visit. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Vice Chair,
Yes.
it is with great delight, the third and final item that I have on my report to the councils. And this is a proclamation that is very personal to me and very personal to a lot of people in attendance and across our wonderful city and parish. Tonight, we're going to recognize Mr. Nicky Picard, who has done so much for our community, for our city, our parish, our state, our country. Mr. Picard has not just, he's more than the marshal for everybody that, or, you know, that knew him in that capacity, but he gave us terms like Leo, law enforcement officer, and make sure that we call our law enforcement officers Leos and not other descriptors. He's also a retired sergeant major of the United States Army. Hooah. There you go. He has served in the capacity of city marshal for well over 30 years. He's a wonderful poet. He's a wonderful father. He's a loving husband. He's my friend. And I love you. I appreciate you. I think Marshal Hill, our current marshal, would like to say a few words before I issue a proclamation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor President. My name is Michael Hill, and I'm serving as the interim marshal. When Nikki and I see one another, we've known each other for many years, but when we see one another, we shake hands and we say, "Hello, Marshal," and he says, "Hello, Marshal," and it sounds a little strange to have Nicky Picard addressing me as the marshal. I was appointed as the interim city marshal in October of 2018, and I came to the seat after having retired from the federal bench where I spent 14 years and having practiced law in Lafayette since 1982 and having practiced law period for almost 45, 50 years, 47 years now, God help me. Most of my law practice was in the federal courts, at least for the last 35 years of that. So my contact with the city marshal's office was not extensive at the time that I took this job. Obviously, I knew what they did. I knew some of the marshals. But as far as the way the office operated and ran, I really didn't really have a real good idea of what I was getting into. I should have been more comfortable. I found when I got there a highly motivated, highly trained, highly equipped, motivated group of men and women who, under rather extraordinary circumstances, had performed admirably in their service to this city. Many of them are here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Marshals in the city marshal's office. That's Nikki's legacy, those that you just saw stand. I really didn't have to do much other than just stand back and watch them do their jobs. Listen occasionally to the press, occasionally to some of you. But as far as dealing with the way in which the office ran, I had to do very little, and that is because of the way that Nicky had handled the office for many years. The diligence he had used in selecting people, highly qualified, honest, and motivated. The diligence and sometimes courage he exhibited when he made sure that those people were properly trained and properly equipped. And when I got out and started dealing with marshals around the state, I found out very quickly how Nicky was revered by those folks who wear this badge around the state. They told me that I was very lucky. It was not something they had to tell me. It was something I was obviously knew well of. It is my distinct honor and pleasure to follow Nikki to the extent anybody can. But he deserves everything that the Mayor President is getting ready to read and more. He is a fine, honest man. He has served this city, his state, and his country honorably for not quite as many years as I've been alive, but for as many years as many of us in this room have been alive. And I salute him. Marshall Peacock.
I just hope I can do this without breaking down and cry. But I see all these deputies here tonight and people from the staff and the interim marshal. And I spent some time at the marshal's office this afternoon. I've got my two sons. This is my youngest, and my oldest, his wife is back there. I got my daughter, who's my chauffeurette. And my oldest son and his wife, and my daughter sitting next to him. You don't understand? Yeah, you're going to have to. You're going to have to come up with when we take the picture. But I was ordered by Judge Saloom to keep it to less than 4 hours. Huh? Now, because of a comment made by Mr. Abraham at his swearing in, not mine, his. I write poems, and my acceptance speech is a short poem, and I did this for Mr. Abraham. It'll be very short. I want to thank you all for bestowing this honor upon me, for which I am proud as I can be. This honor I will respect. This honor I will protect. For this honor, I will be forever grateful. For this honor, I'll be forever faithful. The trust you've placed in me, to you I pledge your trust you'll see. Thank you. He thought I had a writer. I write my own stuff.
Yes.
This is my son Leslie, and where's Karen? They're afraid to come up here?
The family could come up for pictures in a little bit, if you'd come up. Thank you.
I have a special guest here that came all the way from the river just to be here tonight, the Reverend George Lee Glass from the river. And he didn't speed to make it up here. He made it hard. No tickets. Thank you so much. He's the pastor of Grace Church in the river, where my daughter attends, and I went there a couple of Sundays ago. It was a great experience. Let's see, this is my daughter-in-law, Karen, my son, Leslie, my daughter, Darlene, my daughter-in-law, Lynette, my son, Timmy, and there's the pastor. The grandkids? Okay, that's just it. Yeah, they're all in the corner. Where's the new boy? Where's he? Oh, he needs to come. I got a grandson by that Trevor. And all right, okay. That's my great granddaughter, and that's my great grandson, who could very well be the number 4 generation police officer in Lafayette. He's got a cinch because I have 61 years in police work. his grandfather has about 37 years. And then he's got his mother's a police officer. His dad is a police officer. His grandfather on the mother's side was a retired state trooper. He's got four
I knew that was.
uncles that are police officers today. And he can't miss. We're going to make sure he's a policeman.
He has no choice.
Instead of the kindergarten, we're going to teach him. Did I miss somebody? Did I miss somebody? Okay, I just want to make sure.
Mr. Mayor President, I think you have something that you would like to read?
Yes, and so, Marshall, our proclamation is a little longer than your poem, and the only reason why we had to cut it off right here is because the paper was only this long. So I am proud to proclaim, whereas Earl J. Picard was born in Lafayette, Louisiana on October 10th, 1931. His parents were the late Henry Avery Picard and the late Levy Marie Jurio. And whereas Earl was one of 6 boys and had only one sister, he was affectionately given the name Nicky. Having been raised in Lafayette, he received his education in Lafayette Parish schools and learned to speak French. And whereas on April 3rd, 1949, he married Cecile Jeanette Dupuis at St. Genevieve Catholic Church. They had 3 children, daughters, Leslie and Darlene, and son, Timothy. And whereas Earl began his law enforcement career in April 1953, his work history includes the Louisiana State Police, the Lafayette Parish Sheriff's Office, the Investigator's Office of the District Attorney, the Juvenile Detention Home, and the City Court of Lafayette. And whereas, appointed on June 1st, 1984, his work as Marshal of the City Court of Lafayette is to be commended. As the 10th Marshal in its history, Marshal Picard brought Lafayette City Court into the 21st century, and many felt his was the premier marshal's office in the state of Louisiana. Having served for 30 years and 7 months, he has made history as the longest-serving marshal. Now, therefore, I, Josh Guillory, Mayor President, in coordination with Lafayette City Councilman Patrick Lewis and Lafayette Parish Councilman John J. Gilbo of the Lafayette Council, are proud to bestow upon Earl J. Nicky Picard the title of Honorary Lifetime Lafayette City Marshal. In witness whereof, we have hereunto set our hands and caused the seal of the Lafayette Consolidated Government to be affixed this 4th day of February in the year of our Lord, 2020. Thank you.
Mayor President, I think we have 2 that would like to make short comments. I, for one. Mr. Nicky, I'm really proud to call you friend, lifelong friends. I thank you for your entire service to country and to community. Very proud of your services, and thank you.
Thank you.
The only beef I have with you, Mr. Nicky, is I never could beat those Picards on the golf course. Merci beaucoup, mon ami. Mr. Tabor? Oh, Abe, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Mr. Rubin?
How you doing, Mr. Picard? All those accolades are great. I just want to make sure when I go there, you have some ice cream in the freezer. I know you keep the wife special ice cream, the vanilla with the cherry.
That's right.
All right. Just make sure I have some ice cream when I go there next time.
We'll have a gallon.
A gallon, okay. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
It's an
Thank
honor.
you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, you're welcome.
Mr. Gilroy?
Happy to do it. Glad to have that opportunity.
If the family could come up too in front of the council members.
Let's go. Stand up, Pat. New routine. Stand up, man, so we can see you. Oh. When you get to be my age.
The grandkids are coming up too.
Move over. Slide over. That's good. Stay where you You ready, Pat? You see, you have to do the motions.
Yeah, just one. We got a lot of them, about
Yeah.
5 of them.
If they could come up quickly. The deputies, they want to take a picture with the deputies.
Take them in the atrium.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go in the atrium.
Right. Could some of you come to the side? There you go.
Okay,
We'll
we'll
move
move on.
With the agenda, we'll move on to
We're
resolutions.
on resolutions. This is a public hearing, and blue sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the councils. The 5-minute rule does apply. Cindy, please read.
Joint Resolution 4, 2020, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council approving the application number 20190384 RTA for restoration tax abatement submitted by Alpha University Place LLC, Brandon Miles Kessinger, for participation in the State of Louisiana Restoration Tax Abatement Program, 200 Oakhurst Drive.
I need a motion and second from the Parish Council. It has been moved by Mr. A.B. Rubin, seconded by Mr. Tabor.
I need a motion and a second from the city council. Motion by Ms. Nanette Cook and second by Mr. Andy Nakane.
Council discussion? Any council discussion? Not seeing any. Ms. Williams, any public comment?
Mr. Chair, we do have 3 speakers. Brian Trotter. He's going to pass. Trevor Romero. He will be followed by Corey Jack.
My name is Trevor Ramey. I am a senior consultant for Evergreen Advisors. We're representing Alpha University Place in this matter. And first, I want to thank the councils for allowing me to speak on behalf of Alpha tonight. So we're here just to explain the project a little bit. This project, our Alpha Capital is investing in the University Place apartments in order to restore and renovate that property. They are taking on a $7.5 million project to reinvest in a property that is in disrepair. They are going to be creating 100 construction jobs during this. They are going to be, and they would like to participate in the state's RTA, Restoration Tax Abatement Program, for this project. And really, we just wanted to be here, and in the interest of time, I would be glad to answer any questions or give you any details about the project or about the program that I can for you all tonight.
Okay, thank you, sir. Mr. Jack?
Corey Jack.
Yes. Members of the council, Mayor President Guillory, my name is Corey Jack, and I'll be speaking on behalf of One Acadiana. Items 3 and 4 on tonight's agenda seek approval of applications for the Restoration Tax Abatement Program for 2 projects located within Lafayette Opportunity Zone Census Tract 22. The Federal Opportunity Zone incentive provides a flexible framework for investment so that projects within these low-income census tracts can be tailored to meet the needs of local communities. This flexibility within the Opportunity Zone program allows for other incentives granted at the state and local levels to be stacked together to ensure that Opportunity Zone projects are more viable. Recognizing this, the Louisiana State Legislature unanimously approved a bill, House Bill 585, expanding eligibility for the Restoration Tax Abatement Program to include Opportunity Zones. Both projects on tonight's agenda are eligible for the Restoration Tax Abatement Program because they are located within an Opportunity Zone. In fact, a consultant for one of the projects, the University Place Apartments, visited with us a few months ago, and we encouraged them to apply for the RTA program as a way to enhance their Opportunity Zone investment. The success of these applications will be viewed favorably by other investors looking to stack incentives to drive development in our Opportunity Zones. Conversely, if they fail, it could have a negative impact on other projects that are looking at Lafayette, as it may be perceived as anti-development. As many of you may be aware, through the work of Invest Acadiana, which is a partnership initiative of One Acadiana, LEDA, APC, CFA, LCG, DDA, and a couple of other partners, Lafayette and its surrounding areas have recently been recognized and awarded as a top 20 Opportunity Zone Catalyst community by Forbes, and we're receiving a lot of national recognition because of it. So, of course, we'd like to keep that momentum going. We ask you for your support tonight by approving these 2 applications, and as always, thank you for your leadership.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Mr. Chair, we had one citizen, Andre Bro, who did not wish to speak, who signed in support of the project. There are no other speakers.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other comments from the council? Not hearing anything, we shall.
Go to the mic page.
I'm sorry. Okay, Mr. Nakam, sorry.
Yes, I had just a couple of questions. How long has Alpha University Place been in possession of these apartments? How long have they owned it?
They purchased the property last year. I'm not exactly sure what the purchase date was.
'Cause, I mean, it was always considered in disrepair back in the 70s when I was at USL.
Yes, sir.
So obviously it's in need of this. And how long, what is this tax abatement? What exactly are we deferring?
Sure.
And for how long?
Absolutely. So what the program is first of all, we think it's very important to note that it does not reduce or eliminate any current tax revenue coming from that property. All it does is postpones any tax increase on the property that would be the result of the renovation investment. It'll postpone that for 5 years. That's what tonight's resolution would do, 5-year postponement of that increase. After 5 years, if Alpha would like to extend that or participate, because it's a full 10-year program, but after 5 years, they would have to come back here, or we would have to come back here and bring it to you all, and you all would decide whether or not they had received their due, and that was it, or if there is any reason for another 5 years, and that will be the cap, will be a total of 10 if they came, if.
So essentially, the $7 million investment is not going to be considered as part of an increase to the property value, so we're just going to maintain the existing tax base
For 5 years.
for 5 years?
Yes, sir.
Which is an excellent deal for the city of Lafayette and UL and the students living there, because they're going to have an upgraded apartment complex in walking distance.
Yes, sir.
I just want to clarify that for the public, just to be safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm done.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Carlson, you have the floor.
Yes, while I will support these resolutions tonight, I really just want to make note for the record that I do find it interesting that all of these tax abatement programs are offered up by the state, but they have no skin in the game, right? They always ask us on a local level to withhold or not increase property taxes, but I never see the state saying, well, you don't have to pay any state taxes on those properties. And I don't know, that's something I would like to see change in the future, but I just wanted to make that note for the record.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Tabor?
Also, I support it, but I just want to put on the record that the parish won't get any of the sales tax dollars. So I just wanted to make that, we're voting on it, but we don't get that option.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I think that's it. Okay. We do have a motion, so I'll call for the vote of the parish council first.
We just called for the vote.
Call for the vote.
Yes, sir.
District 1?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes, yes.
District 5?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved.
Okay, call for a vote from the city council.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Resolution 5, 2020, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council approving the application number 20190-424 RTA for restoration tax abatement submitted by Imperial Property Holdings LLC, Samuel D. Abraham, for participation in the State of Louisiana Restoration Tax Abatement Program, 901 Wilson Street.
I need a motion second from the parish council. It has been moved by Mr. Carlson, seconded by Mr. Tabor.
Motion from the city council, and second. Motion from Mr. Naki, and second by Ms. Nanette.
Any council discussion? Ms. Williams, any public comment?
We have one speaker, David Abraham.
I didn't realize Andy was going to be here, so I'll waive.
Okay. We did have two citizens who did not wish to speak in support of the program, Corey Jack and Andre Bro. No other speakers, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we'll call for the vote from the parish council.
Parish Council District 3?
Yes.
Parish Council District 4?
Yes.
Parish Council District 5?
Yes.
Parish Council District 1?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved.
Call for a vote from the council to adopt the resolution from the city.
City Council District 2?
Yes.
City Council District 3?
Yes.
City Council District 4? City Council District 5?
Yes.
City Council District 1?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Resolution 6, 2020, a resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council conferring signature authority for the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government Finance.
I need a motion and second from the parish council. Been moved by Mr. A.B. Rubin, seconded by Mr. Tabor.
Need a motion and second from the city council. Motion by Ms. Liz Hebert, second by Mr. Glenn Latar.
Any council discussions? Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Call for the vote.
Parish Council District 4?
Yes.
Parish Council District 5?
Yes.
Parish Council District 1?
Yes.
Parish Council District 3?
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved.
Call for the vote from each city council to adopt the resolution.
City Council District 3,
Yes.
City Council District 4,
Yes.
City Council District 5,
Yes.
City Council District 1,
Yes.
City Council District 2.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved. Joint Resolution 7, 2020, a resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council conferring signature authority for the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government Public Works.
I need a motion second from the Parish Council. Been moved by Mr. Tabor, seconded by Mr. Carlson.
Motion is second from the city council. Motion by Ms. Nanette Cook and second by Mr. Nancy Nakane.
Any council discussion? Any public comment, Ms. Williams? Not hearing any, we shall vote.
Parish Council District 5,
Yes.
Parish Council District 1,
Yes.
Parish Council District 3,
Yes.
Parish Council District 4.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved.
Vote from the city council to adopt the resolution.
City Council District 4,
Yes.
City Council District 5,
Yes.
City Council District 1,
Yes.
City Council District 2,
Yes.
City Council District 3.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved.
Okay, ordinance for final adoption. This is a public hearing, and blue sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the councils. The 5-minute rule does apply. Please read.
Joint Ordinance 4, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council creating the Professional Services Review Committee in accordance with Section 3-09A6 of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government Home Rule Charter.
I need a motion second from the Parish Council. Been moved by Mr. A.B. Rubin, seconded by Mr. Carlson.
Motion is second from the city council. Motion by Mr. Glenn Lazar and second by Ms. Liz Adair.
Council discussion? Any public comment, Ms. Williams?
No, sir.
Not hearing, we shall vote.
Parish Council District 1,
Yes.
Parish Council District 3,
Yes.
Parish Council District 4,
Yes.
Parish Council District 5.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved.
Vote from the city council to adopt the ordinance.
City Council District 5,
Yes.
City Council District 1,
Yes.
City Council District 2,
Yes.
City Council District 3,
Yes.
City Council District 4. The motion to adopt is approved.
Announcement of vacancies on boards, commissions. Cindy, please read.
City, 1 vacancy will exist on the newly created Professional Services Committee. This initial appointment shall be for the remainder of a 4-year term through December 31st, 2023. Appointment shall be made by the Lafayette City Council. Parish, 1 vacancy will exist on the newly created Professional Services Committee. The initial appointment shall be for the remainder of a 4-year term through December 31st, 2023. Appointment shall be made by the Lafayette Parish Council. Individuals wishing to submit a resume for the above volunteer vacancies must be a registered voter and a resident of Lafayette Parish. Yearly ethics training for all appointees is required, as is financial disclosure under certain circumstances. Resumes are to be forwarded to Veronica L. Williams, Clerk of the Council, P.O. Box 4017-C, Lafayette, Louisiana 70502, or email to bclafayette@lafayettela.gov no later than noon, Tuesday, February 18, 2020, with appointments to be made at the March 3, 2020 Lafayette City Council regular meeting and the March 3, 2020 Lafayette Parish Council regular meeting.
Thank you. Introductory ordinance.
Okay, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I think Mr. Lazar had inquired about whether or not these terms could be for 1-year terms, appointing someone for 1 year. And I just checked with legal, and they said you could amend this. And with this being the announcement, if we're going to amend it, the people who are making application needs to know it's not a 4-year term. If it's going to be amended, it needs to be amended tonight, if you're interested in doing a 1-year term. And you can do just the city. If the city only want to do 1-year term, then the city could do it, because you guys do individual appointments. Is that correct, Mr.?
Yes, they do.
Right.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll open it up to parish for discussion, then we can turn it over to city. Any thoughts, comments, feedback? 1 year versus 4.
I would just ask what the reasoning for 1 year.
Yeah, maybe Mr. Lazar could speak to that.
Mr. Lazard, do you want to give your rationale for going with a 1 versus a 4? Oh, hold on, hold on, I'm getting there.
You're hot.
You're hot now, go ahead.
It's because it's something relatively new, and we want to see how it works. It's a private citizen that we're appointing, and it's to evaluate basically applications to provide professional services. So rationale is to appoint somebody for a year. We can always reappoint them if it works out. But I just don't want us to get locked in to somebody for that long a period of time for something that important.
Okay. All right. Mr. Lewis, you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. My concern is that I agree with Mr. Lazar, but I have another concern. Professional service normally is the council members on professional service. We normally, is the mayor president has someone he appoint. It's normally someone from the different departments that work for LCG. But now the way this charter has written the professional service guidelines is that council members will not be on the professional service. We have to approve an application for someone to be on professional service. So I would also make a recommendation in the amendment that a council member somehow that we can oversee the people that's on the professional service. Because we have to realize these individuals that will be on the professional service team, they will be making the decisions. The council will not have anything to do with it. So I just want the new council members to be aware of how it had been working for the last years. So now if we're going to give the authority to newcomers and we don't have any say-so, I think that may become a problem for us because we are elected by the people. So we should serve the people, not let someone do our job for us.
Mr. Chairman, if I
Yes.
may, just to piggyback on Councilman Lewis's comments, just as an FYI to the body, realize that the Professional Services Review Committee that also has, I believe, the Public Works Director as well as the LUS Director, is a advisory board. It only provides recommendations for the mayor president as to professional services contracts. They do not have the ability nor the authority to enter into those contracts, and that those recommendations that go from the Professional Services Review Committee board to the mayor president's office or for his consideration, and he is not obligated to even pick those that are being recommended. So just wanted to give you an FYI.
And also, previous years, it would change over once a year. When the new chairman would come in, he would appoint someone. So yearly, the representative from the council would change over. So if you all wanted to do the 1 year or 2 year, it's up to you guys.
But the chair would also make the recommendation as council, for 2 council members to be on the review board.
Right, but it no
That's-
longer reads that way.
Right.
And what we talked about maybe is bringing into and discussing with legal, the conference committee
Yes.
that could come into play for that.
Council committee would consist
The
of the board
conference.
of the council members.
Yes, sir. That were two parish council members and 2 city council members.
Okay, any further discussion? What is the wish?
Okay, so if you guys would like to do the 1 year and change it, I would need a motion from the city council to change it to 1 year, and I would need a motion from the parish council as well,
Parish goes first.
and we would vote.
Parrish, are you? It's been moved by Mr. Tabor, seconded by Mr. Carlson for 1 year.
I'm waiting for
Okay.
them to.
Then we next,
We're doing,
You gonna take the vote first? or-
y'all voted yet?
no,
Okay, a motion by Josh Carlson, I'm sorry.
no, Mr. Tabor motion, Carlson second.
Okay. And if the city would like to do 1 year term, I would need a motion
Do
from the
this.
city.
So move, I move that we amend the term for the appointment to the Professional Services Review Committee to 1 year.
I second.
Okay,
Okay.
So.
Members,
Okay, I'm sorry.
any discussion?
yeah, Andy second.
I can't say. So, Mr. Andy, motion by Mr. Glenn Lazar, second by Mr. Andy Nakane.
Correct.
Okay, we have a proper motion on the floor.
Yes,
Any
sir.
discussion? Public comment? No?
No, sir.
Okay. We'll vote.
Parish Council District 3,
Yes.
Parish Council District 4,
Yes.
Parish Council District 5,
Yes.
Parish Council District 1.
Yes.
The motion to approve one-year term is approved.
Okay.
Vote on the amendment from the
The
city
parish.
council?
City Council District 1,
Yes.
City Council District 2,
Yes.
City Council District 3, City Council District 4, City Council District 5. The motion for a one-year term for the city is approved.
And if I may read it, just for clarity for the public, city appointee or applicants, one vacancy will exist on the newly created Professional Services Committee. The initial appointment shall be for the remainder, for a one-year term through December 31st, 2020. Appointment shall be made by the Lafayette City Council. For the Parish Council, one vacancy will exist on the newly created Professional Services Committee. The initial appointment shall be for a one-year term through December 31st, 2020. Appointment shall be made by the Lafayette Parish Council. These resumes are to be turned in by March 3rd, 2020. February 18th, 2020, with the appointments to be made March 3rd.
Okay. That was for clarifying, thanks. Introductory ordinance. Regarding the introductory ordinances, I will ask Cindy to read the ordinance. I will then call for a motion from the parish council to introduce the ordinance, and then the city council chair will ask for a motion for the city council to introduce the ordinance. Cindy, please read.
Joint Ordinance 5, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 1920 capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by transferring $10,000 from the Environmental Quality Fund balance to replace a front-end loader within the Public Works Department Environmental Quality Composting Division and additional funding needed.
Need a motion second from the parish council. Been moved by Mr. Tabor, seconded by Mr. A.B. Rubin.
Motion is second from the city. Motion from Ms. Lindsay Bear and second Mr. Andy Nucky.
Any council discussion? Public comment, Ms.
No,
Williams?
sir.
Not hearing any, we shall vote.
Parish Council District 3,
Yes.
Parish Council District 4,
Yes.
Parish Council District 5,
Yes.
Parish Council District 1.
Yes.
The motion to introduce is approved.
Vote from the city council?
City Council District 1,
Yes.
City Council District 2, City Council District 3, City Council District 4, City Council District 5. The motion to introduce is approved.
Adjourn the city council meeting?
Adjourn the parish council meeting and joint meeting. We will continue with the next special joint meeting right now. Please don't leave. I open the second special meeting and call the parish council meeting to order.
I'll call the city council meeting to order.
Again, Chairman Kevin Nakhan, District 2, is absent, and I will preside. This is a special joint meeting of the Lafayette Parish Council and Lafayette City Council. At times during the meeting, I will defer to the City Council Chair to preside over City Council matters. This is a second special meeting call to the urgency and deadline noted below. Resolution. This is a public hearing, and blue sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the councils. The 5-minute rule does apply. Cindy, please read.
Joint Resolution 8, 2020, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing waiver of all penalties, interest, and other charges and liens in order to facilitate below appraised value sale of certain properties platted as Matleen Cove in sections 23 and 70, Township 9 South, Range 4 East.
As a note, the urgent need to call this special meeting was because the Investments Group contract to acquire Madeline Cove expires on February 15th. With that being said, this could not wait to the next meeting of February 21st. I need a motion second from the parish council. It has been moved by Mr. Carlson, seconded by Mr. Tabor.
Okay, I need a motion and a second from the city council. Motion by Mr. Andy Nakane, second by Ms. Nanette Cook.
Any council discussion? Any public comment?
Mr. Chair, we do have 3 speakers signed in, the first of which is Chris Dupre. And you could pass if you prefer not to speak. He passes. Terica Smith, and she will be followed by R.J. Finesca, Jr.
Thank you for having me. First, I would like to say thank you to the city and the parish for allowing us to be able to have this meeting and allowing us to be able to be placed on the agenda. Not too sure if you guys are familiar where Madeline Cove is located, but it's located right off of Madeline and University Avenue. The property has been vacant. There's garbage, there's trash. I'm sure you guys have the pictures for about 15 years now. The goal is simple. It's to revitalize the area. Right now, crime is high. You have the crime statistics, you have the drugs, you have everything that's going on in that community. I personally come from a community like that. I believe taking on this project, bringing in investment dollars to revitalize this area through the Opportunity Zone program is an amazing opportunity for the people that's around the community and also for the city of Lafayette. Thank you.
Thank you.
R.J. Finesca, Jr.
Good evening, council members, Mr. Mayor President. My name is R.J. Fonseca, Jr. I represent the investment group for Madeline Cove. I do want to thank, I see that Mr. Ryan Gulak and Danielle Bro are present today. Their efforts in bringing us here tonight can't not go untold. They were instrumental in allowing this resolution to be before you. And just as a quick background, this is adjudicated property. So how a property becomes adjudicated is that the taxes become due annually and they go unpaid. Now, in June, the tax assessor will hold a sheriff sale where he'll allow persons from the public to bid on taxes, on unpaid taxes, and they'll receive a tax deed upon bidding that. If no one bids on these tax deeds, then the tax assessor, the government, is responsible for essentially paying those overdue taxes, and then the property moves into a quote-unquote adjudicated status. So what happens when you have adjudicated properties? Essentially, year after year, the government's responsible for cutting the grass. The money goes into that. No one's paying taxes. There's no tax revenue, and simply all we're asking for, and it's a make or break difference for whether this project goes forward. This has been a year in progress, trying to get the investment group together, utilize the Opportunity Zone advantages, bring the investors in. There's a lot of problems with this property. The adjudicated status is just the least of which, but there's a tremendous commitment for investment. And this resolution opens the doors for that. It waives the penalties, the interest, the liens that have been placed on the property. The taxes will be paid. The face value of the taxes due are not part of the resolution as being waived. So those will get waived in this transaction. It's an arm's length transaction, essentially, is what you will be approving. So our group will be acquiring the property from the present owner, which is represented by a trustee in a bankruptcy. The project did fail in '06 and has been dormant since. There's been really no activity for 14, 15 years out there. So we appreciate your time. We appreciate the willingness to put this on the agenda, and I'm available for questions if necessary.
Any other comments from the public?
We did have one speaker, Andre Bro, who signed in, who did not wish to speak in support of the resolution.
Okay. Mr. Lewis, you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. That location that that we are talking about right now, I'm very familiar with. In fact, it's in the district that I represent. And I know quite often what happens is that the grass gets so long, just like the young lady was saying earlier, that there's a lot of debris on the property. As we speak right now, there's a lot of debris on the property. So what happens is that the city or the environmental department have to contract the services out. And that's at least 2-3 times a year. I don't know exactly how much the charges are, but I know every time they go out there, it's at least $1,000 or more that we are responsible to pay for it. And so if this opportunity is allowed, we give them the opportunity to put this back into commerce, it would be beneficial to the area. That's an area that really needs, like the young lady was saying, really needs attention to. There's a lot of crime in that area. There's a lot of just about everything that goes on there. If you go there tomorrow in the daylight, you'll see how much debris is on their property. Because I don't believe the environmental had gone out there and cleaned it up yet. But they will go out unless we give them the opportunity to purchase it, and then it'll be, they're trouble. They'll have to keep it up for us. Because right now, as we speak, environmental have to do something with that. And at least, again, I'll repeat myself, 2-3 times a year, environment is contracting it out. And they have to pay the contracts to clean it up. And it may take about 45 days to get that cleaned up. So when you have property that's really not desirable, not welcome, what that brings? Litter, crime, and whatever else you can think of. During the year when we celebrate crawfish, a lot of people like to eat crawfish around there. I pass around that area. That's where people go and dump their crawfish. They dump tires, trash, sofas, furniture. You name it, they dump it. And this is the second time I'm hearing someone would like to develop this property. And I really would like to see someone develop it to get it off our hands. What they're asking for is not very much. They'll get it on the back end. The parish, you guys will get it on the back end. Because once we have development there, houses being built, apartments, that's when you guys will start getting the millage property taxes. Right now, you're probably not getting anything. And if we were getting something, if y'all was getting something, it wouldn't be much, because it's vacant property. So you guys need to really think about that, because again, if it wasn't adjudicated, the amount of property tax you guys will be getting, and the city, would not be much, because it's vacant property. But once it's in commerce, you can't imagine how much property taxes you will be receiving, the parish, more than the city. So I would encourage all my colleagues to support this. This is a good thing for the community and for the city and the parish of Lafayette. Thank you.
Mr. Lazard.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. First of all, I will echo everything that Pat said. In addition, I will also add that developers are not exactly beating down the door to develop property in that area. This will be a catalyst for future development in that neighborhood. The University Avenue corridor, it's going to tie in a lot of things. You know, we have the University Avenue corridor project ongoing, starting at Cameron Street with the development that's coming up there. So this is going to basically tie everything together. It's a multi-million-dollar project, a first-class project that's going to be developed by a first-class organization. To me, this is simply a no-brainer. It's going to put that property back into commerce. City and parish are going to obtain tax dollars from it. It's going to reduce the crime rate. It basically covers all the bases. So this, to me, is a no-brainer, and I certainly strongly encourage support for it. Thank you.
Councilman Carlson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Fonseca, can you confirm that the property, however many years ago, went to tax sale and nobody bid on the property at that time?
That's correct. The first time, you need to come to the mic so they could hear you over the AOC.
Councilman Carlson. The property was initially adjudicated in 2012, and then again in 2017. So you're correct that the tax deed for that year was offered to the public. No one bid, and the city and the parish footed the bill for that year's taxes, and it now resides in adjudicated status.
Thank you. I'd like to also say I appreciate your client's willingness to pay the back taxes while we forgive the liens and the penalties and everything. I'll say this, I'll echo what Councilman Lazard and Councilman Lewis said. I drove past this property about a week ago, about 8 or 9 o'clock at night, and there were more tires on the ground, more couches and mattresses than I could count. The grass was about 6 or 7 feet high. I believe there's a 40 caliber shell casing that was found on the ground. I am encouraged by a group of local developers, private investors here from the community, not outside of Lafayette, all from this area that are willing to invest their money in this area. And I think it's vitally needed for the parish as a whole, but particularly this area of town. And so I'm encouraged by this. I look forward to seeing that development come to fruition.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Nakane, you have the floor.
Thank you. I am full support of this, and I mean, I'm preaching to the choir, it sounds like, but I too went by there. And to be honest with you, I was appalled at the condition of that property. It has all the amenities, roads, utilities, lighting, sewage, everything's there, but people. The only thing you find there is trash. My heart broke for the people that live in the neighborhood next to that. I can't imagine having children with that accessibility to a property like that, the danger that must be involved in letting kids even out in that area. Knowing my wife, she wouldn't even want her dog traveling that property. It was so bad. And I spoke to a builder, a friend of mine who was involved in this development. And in talking with him, I mean, can you imagine putting some brand new houses in there? Some houses that have value, that will bring an enhancement to that area. I'm so excited about this project. I think it's a wonderful thing. God bless you all for bringing this forward and accepting this responsibility and duties. And God bless the neighbors who have been putting up with that for 15 years. Thank you all very much for bringing this forward to this council. And I'm glad to see it hopefully moving forward. And I'm sure it will tonight. Thank you.
Councilman Rubin, you have the floor.
First of all, I want to thank you guys for investing into our community. The one thing that wasn't mentioned that I want to mention tonight, besides everything else they said, is that we're not putting up low-income houses. We're putting up affordable homes. So that's the thing that I'm very proud of, and I want to thank you for that. You know what I'm saying, for doing that in our community. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments? I do have one comment maybe to kind of sum up everything that we have heard, and I too am in total agreement with everything that has been said. There's absolutely nothing more I don't think I could add, other than I have a question. Think about it. Why not? Why wouldn't we want to do this project based on what we've heard? Thank you. Okay, any other comments? And
No,
if
sir,
not,
no
we'll
other
move on to the
comments.
vote.
Yes, sir.
Parish Council, vote.
Parish Council District 1,
Yes.
Parish Council District 3,
Yes.
Parish Council District 4,
Yes.
Parish Council District 5.
Yes.
The motion to adopt is approved.
Okay, I need a vote from the city council to adopt the resolution.
City Council District 1,
Yes.
City Council District 2,
Yes.
City Council District 3,
Yes.
City Council District 4, City Council District 5. The motion to adopt is approved.
Adjourn the city council meeting.
Adjourn the parish and joint council meeting. All right, sir.
We will immediately go into the city council meeting. So if you could just change positions. You have any?